Hi everybody. In this fun size film, we're going to be learning about an assessment tool called Reflective Notes. Teachers think about their students and their students' learning all day, every day. It's a central feature of effective teaching. We know that every student is different and has different needs, and we are responsible for ensuring that every student is learning every day. And so we experiment with different adaptations and adjustments. We note what works for some kids and what doesn't work for those kids, and we refine our practices slowly over the course of a school year. But it's very hard to know what is motivating a student, what is driving a student. And most young kids aren't very self-aware. So if you were to say to a student, what were you thinking? Well, the student's never going to have an answer for you because the student wasn't thinking. The student was just acting. And so if we want to continue to deepen our understanding of our students, we need to take responsibility for thinking about them and wondering about them and theorizing about them and then testing theories. And the best way to do that is through reflective notes. As we go through our day, we're always thinking about how things went, what's going on in the kids' lives, in their world, what they're struggling with. And as we reflect on individual students or on the class as a whole, we often have insights, or we start to see little glimmers of what might possibly be going on there and why is it happening. And all of these glimmers and all of these hunches are very valuable and deserve to be developed more fully. And Reflective Notes is a tool that enables you to document your initial ideas, your seedlings of thoughts, and to develop them for further consideration. When you write reflective notes, you should be working on writing something that is descriptive and rich and thoughtful. It is not at all like an anecdotal note, which is something that is often scribbled quickly on the fly. This is a situation in which the teacher is pondering issues, generating ideas, thinking hard, and exploring and elaborating on his or her thoughts. The detail is important because you're going to be you may be looking at these notes in 3 months or 6 months, and you want to be able to remember exactly what you were thinking. And another piece of that means that you need to always date your reflective notes so that you can track the development of your ideas over time. Reflective notes are open-ended. They don't always take you where you think you're going to go. So you might find yourself with the intent of examining a student's academic struggles, but what might happen as you are writing is that you might start reflecting on your own effectiveness as a teacher. You might start thinking about a student behavior problem and then come to a place where you are thinking about your own experiences as a student, a young student, and how they're impacting your reaction to this student. The purpose of reflective notes is to help improve your teaching. So it's okay if you end up reflecting on yourself and not on a student, or if you end up reflecting on your teaching and not on student learning, because even though those things are unexpected, they're still central to your practice and will help you be more effective. This is a reflective note written by a Texas pre-service teacher. And I would just like to point out, it begins with our PPCD teacher, and there's a note at the bottom of the screen that explains what PPCD is. So please pause the film for a moment and take some time to read this reflective note. In the past, some teacher candidates have had difficulty distinguishing between a reflective note and an anecdotal note. So what I've given you here is assessment document that describes some interactions between Renee, whom you met in the previous slide, and Daishon. And I'd like you to read it and think about it and determine whether you think it's a reflective note or an anecdotal note, and to elaborate on the reasons for your decision. And I'd like everyone to come to class prepared to answer and discuss this question so that we can be sure that everyone ends up with a clear understanding about the different purposes and the different uses of those two types of assessment notes. So I will see you soon, and we'll continue this conversation face to face.